see many flaws in Daniel Dubois. The major flaw that has been corrected was more of like when people was questioning his heart, because everyone said, I ain't got no heart, he ain't got no ticker. And I think he's proved that in his last two fights, the Big Baby Miller fight, and also in the Hrgovic fight, he proved that he actually has got ball, right? But maybe those guys didn't hit hard enough to take away his ball, right? And you cannot be being hit flush with heavy right hands from Hrgovic, thinking that you're going to get hit by those same right hands from Anthony Joshua, thinking that it's not going to have a telling effect. It's going to have a telling effect. And we saw, I don't care when people say, oh, well, he's only at Ngannou. We're looking at, we're getting, he knocked at Ngannou and that's not a great win. Well, hello, did you not see what a hard fight that Ngannou gave to Tyson Fury? Right? Exactly. So therefore, I got Anthony Joshua winning this fight. Right? And I think knocking out Daniel Dubois in about 4 to 5 rounds. That's how I see it. But you know what? If I'm wrong, I'll hold my hands up, say I'm wrong. But I'm saying of what I'm seeing, I know it's about camps. And the camp that Anthony Joshua has, in my mind, is more superior to the camp that Don Charles has got, simply because they've got a finer, polished athlete in Anthony Joshua, and all they got to do is put in instructions. With Daniel Dubois, they've got to strip back the errors and mistakes inside of him and then try to rebuild on it. And I don't think it's enough time, right? Because I think by the time the fight comes around, they've been working for a year. I don't believe that's enough time. When you get a new trainer, usually it takes about 5 fights. So this is going to be his 4th fight with Don Charles. Maybe it's a fight too early, but I could be wrong. And if I am wrong, I'm wrong. But I just believe that that's why I got Anthony Joshua coming out successful.
Don't you think that, like, because the way I sort of look at this is, yes, I feel that Anthony Joshua's got a lot of experience. He's been in some massive fights with the Klitschko's and, you know, some really, really big fights, but he's starting to get a little bit older. Now, I know he's not old, but he's older than where Dubois is like this young, hungry lion. Just about, he's just got the IBF converted into the main full championship, and it's time to prove himself. He's coming off 2 wins, his confidence is up there, and he wants that fight. Do you not think, you know, do you think that the experience will outbeat that?
Do I think the experience of Anthony Joshua will surpass the youth and vigor of? Yes, I do, and I'm going to tell you why. It's going to, my opinion, right? Because people will play this back and say, "Oh, what Spencer said, he's a dickhead. He's all wrong," right? But I'm just trying to say to you, the reason why I believe that the experience, because the thing with experience is that you can't fake experience. You can't buy experience. You have to experience to have it. That's the crazy thing about experience. You have to experience it to have the experience. And with Anthony Joshua, just his whole jump off right now, where he is mentally, I know certain things that he's doing off camera, I could tell you, but I ain't going to tell you on camera. Certain things that he's doing, I just believe that he's in a different mental capacity right now. And the thing is this, Daniel Dubois is very fast. I ain't going to lie to you. And Daniel Dubois is most probably going to be coming towards Anthony Joshua. He's not going to fight on the back foot because he doesn't fight on the back foot. So when he comes forward, that's the worst thing ever. Just ask the former 2-time heavyweight champion of the world, George Foreman. George Foreman said, you never follow a puncher. And whereas Daniel Dubois can hit, if you look on Daniel Dubois' highlight reels, show me one concussive knockout that he's scored where he's hit a guy and he's just knocked a guy into oblivion. You don't. He's a heavy-handed guy. But guys who spar with him say that he punches way harder than Anthony Joshua. But that's in sparring, right? He bangs. But maybe it's like under the lights and everything else. Maybe something gets taken away from him. But because of that, I see experience is a massive factor in this. And I mean, when I mean a massive factor. I see Don Charles was saying this fight's going to be spiritual. And if I go to anyone and say, well, then tell me what is spirituality? And I bet you everyone was like, they will struggle to tell you what spirituality is. So when I look at the camps and how they've interwoven with each other, I think this fight's a little bit too early for Daniel Dubois. I think Daniel Dubois is the next generation. He's 26 years old. He's the next generation. I think he's this generation, right? I could be wrong, but I see Andy Joshua winning by hellacious knockout.
Wow. What do you think of Carl Froch getting involved in this? He just started, I don't know if it's called trolling, but he's just got involved and going.
It is called trolling.
That's exactly
what it is.
So
it's controlled trolling.
Do you think it's a way just to get into the conversation?
Whatever Carl Froch is doing, it's working, right? Because Carl Froch is he's clever. Can't turn around and say he's not clever. Carl Froch is clever. You know what? To be real, I think Carl Froch has watched in boxing. There's a lot of trolls, right? And I think Carl Froch has reached the time of his life where he's thinking, I've never really cared what people thought about me. Yeah, but sometimes when people say, I don't really care what people think about me, they actually do care. All right, I'm just gonna be real with you. But I think with Carl, he's more of a. I think he's carrying feelings. I know he's carrying feelings. Carl Froch got inducted into the Hall of Fame recently in America, right? In his speech, he says that he looked at Robert McCracken as a father-like figure, right? Because if you know the story, Carl Froch's pops passed away and all the rest of it. But he looked at Robert McCracken as a father-like figure. And also, Robert McCracken had a different respect for Carl Froch, right? Carl Froch was his first world champion. So he had him with some different respect, some different love and admiration that he had for him. Now, Anthony Joshua's come along, right? Not fundamentally been in the gym, like hasn't gone through the course of how many of us have gone through. Like we grew up loving boxing from a really young age, buying the Ring magazine, the boxing news every Friday, watching it, reading that, watching, having the boxer collection on videotapes. There's a boxer collection, it's called a boxer, and you'd buy that every Friday that would come out. You'd buy a new one every 2 weeks that would come out. Anthony Joshua ain't done none of that. Anthony Joshua just walked into the gymnasium because he saw his cousin Benga doing it, who I have to shout out to Benga, former ABA champion as well. Seeing Benga do it and said, I want to go do that. And he went in and done it. He said, I've got a knack for this. But Anthony Joshua is naturally athletic. Anthony Joshua could have done anything. Anthony Joshua could play football, he'd blow it up. Anthony Joshua could play basketball. And I remember they did, this is years ago. It must be about a decade ago when he just won the Olympic gold medal. They had this superstar challenge where they had different athletes from all doing a different kind of multiple different sporting events, and Anthony Joshua creamed everybody without even trying, right? So that's the type of person that Anthony Joshua is. So when you look at that, Carl Froch is thinking, well, I'm the person that's done this the real way or the authentic way. Things are changing now, right? You know what I mean? What was it? Harold Wilson, our former Prime Minister, said, he who rejects change is the architect of decay, for the only human institution that rejects progress is the cemetery. So we have to constantly keep on evolving as we are as human beings. I think that boxing has evolved, right? And I think Carl Froch was aggrieved on how Robert McCracken was handled. That's all. Because he was working for 1 minute and then Angel Fernandez kind of slipped in, who worked with Joshua for a little bit. And no one can't tell me that, like, when you do these little slip-ins, you slip into these kind of positions, you want to be the number one guy. Nobody's not coming into like, Sean, we're both training a fighter, and you can come in. I'm the key guy. You're telling me you don't want a key guy job? You want a key guy job because the key guy job is a job that pays you the real money. The key guy job is where you get the most adulation, the most pats on the back. It's very rare that you get guys who are comfortable in their own skin. That's why Muhammad Ali was so great. Because Muhammad Ali had Angel Ramdi as his trainer, right? But then he had other guys around him, Lloyd